It on some pipe that I bought at the hardware store. Put a little light up here so that I can see how my ink's flowing in the silk screen. Then I covered this 3/4 ply with a sponge rubber that I got at the surplus store. Then here I used a pair of vice grips and made me a hinge out of it, out of a bicycle stand, so that it'll stay up in position when I get the shirt out. But you don't have to do anything that fancy. You can use just a regular old hinge and put a rope up on top, so when you lift it up, it'll stay up. But it's convenient for me, so that's why I did that. I had an extra welding outfit anyway. Now, make sure it's all centered on the design. The nice thing about vice grips is if it's not centered, I can move it around real easy. And since all this wood is a different thickness, the adjustment on the vice grip will let me put any thickness of silkscreen frame in there that I run across. And my squeegee, I never clean my squeegee because the ink doesn't dry, so there's no reason to clean it. If you use an enamel ink, you're going to want to clean that squeegee. I keep it on a sheet of glass there, and it never gets dirty. It never gets hard. It always fits my frames because it's 17-inch squeegee. Squeegees come in different lengths. With the way you buy this thing, it's sort of like an S-shaped in here. And the way you buy this, you buy it in about a 5-foot length, and it costs $1 an inch. So 5 feet 60 inches, that's $60 for a 5-foot squeegee. Then you cut lengths off that you need. You cut 17 inches or 20 inches, and when you buy the squeegee, you've got to tell them what kind of rubber you want in. This little end piece here is a piece of rubber that's flexible and allows you to see right there. This is a medium grade rubber in there. It bends fairly easy. They have some real hard ones, and they have some real soft ones. The hard ones are used for real soft material like textiles. The real soft squeegees are used for real hard materials like decals. For t-shirt, I like to use a medium hardness squeegee. And if you use the enamel inks, make sure that you clean that squeegee so that you can't tell what color was in there before. When you order your squeegee from the silk screen man, tell them that you want a 17-inch squeegee, medium hardness rubber that's just right for a t-shirt. Now here's where we put the squeegee. Also nail the little nail on the back here so that the squeegee doesn't flop down into the paint. That nail right there will let it rest on the back there. So now we're ready to silk screen, but I'm going to clean my hands off first. Whatever you're silk screening, you got to make sure that when your silk screen is down, that it's right flat on whatever you're going to put on it. It can't be up on one end or sideways crooked. You got to make sure it's flat on the whole thing. Now by running that ink, where's that ink at? Right here. I'm going to take some of my favorite ink here, Plastisol ink, black, put it on this frame here. It's just like putting mud on a... If you were doing decal paper or whatever you're doing, the process is all the same. It's just that this textile requires this plastisol ink. Now make sure that you got your hands clean, because when you lift those shirts out of there, you don't get a smudge on them. Now we'll take the squeegee and flatten that ink out a little bit. If there's lumps of it, you just sort of spread it across the silk. Then you press real hard, one way, and then the other way. Now, squeegee has forced the ink through the silk screen and left the design on the shirt. And if I didn't put this into the heater now, this design would never dry. It would be wet. You could walk up, you put it on yourself, and you could walk up to a wall and leave a reverse image on the wall. As long as you didn't fold it, see, because if I fold it right now, it would print on itself wherever I fold it. I got to take it over here to the heater very carefully. Turn that hot light on there. Then I speed up the process. I just hold it up here for about 6 seconds and get the lower part of his body. And I get the top part of his body until I get the little smoke there. Then I know that ink is cured. Now, see, it's still got a little steam coming off of it. But the only part that's hot is the black part. This white part here isn't, it's hardly hot at all. That's cured. That's ready to wash right now. That's ready to send out to one of you guys out there. And these shirts right here, with the postage and everything, are 10 bucks. If you start making them in your town, the shirts cost $2, so you know what the profit I'm making, and you can do the same thing. Let's go stand by those videotapes. Well, gang, that's about all that there is to simple silk screening. And as I'm talking here, I'm going to show you some pictures that we took at Las Vegas at the Super Run. And this is the picture of a Hopkins machine that this fella takes to the car shows, puts all that ink in those screens and runs them off at the show. As you can see, it would hardly do for him to run less than 1,000 shirts, because he has a silk screen for every color. So if he has 6 colors here, he's going to have 6 screens. They've all got to be in perfect position to put the right shirt, the right color in the right place on that shirt. And it takes him about an hour and a half, 2 hours to register all those screens. That's what they call registering the screens. As you can see, it's quite a fancy machine, and they cost about $3,000 for the carousel and another $1,000 for the dryer. So you're looking at about a $3,500 investment. If you want color in your shirts, you can either hand spray them with a little spray gun, or you can do what this guy in this picture's doing here. Now, a lot of you guys ask, well, what do you